sense. Life not a problem. We see it as nothing but problems. We regard ourselves in a morning, noon, and night struggle to solve the great problem of existence. And for some people this problem is, why does the universe exist? For other people the problem is, how am I going to get enough to eat? And therefore, when you take it at one extreme or the other, why does the universe exist, or how am I going to get enough to eat? Who can say that life is not a problem? And yet here is this audacious suggestion that what we are bothering about is a ghost. It's something that isn't really there. But you know, when we look at the history of science, we find to what an extraordinary sense science has solved problems by dissolving them. I mean, such things, for example, people have spent years and years and years, hours and hours of thought, trying to invent a mechanical contraption that would be in perpetual motion. Think of the trouble they would save themselves if they'd realized it can't be done. Or they've tried to find a construction for trisecting an angle with a straight edge and compass. And it can't be done. And now it's been proved that it can't be done. And how much trouble would have been saved? Or think again of trying to square the circle. Or imagine, for example, people thinking for centuries that the planets revolved about the Earth because they were encased in crystalline spheres. Now, the funny thing is they knew they were encased in crystalline spheres. Why? You could see right through them. And yet that the whole problem of how the spheres were moved, how there was a primum mobile, an outmost sphere that gave rotation to all the others, has simply disappeared. The spheres are presumed now not to be there at all. And it's much easier to think of the solar system without the spheres. In the same way, people jolly well knew that the planets revolved about the Earth in circles, perfect circles. And it was a considerable shock when Kepler proved that the orbit of Mars was an ellipse. So too, we were perfectly sure for centuries that light propagated itself through a mysterious continuum called the ether. And to our astonishment, we found out that there isn't any ether. In so many ways, just ordinary physical science, you see, is an act of understanding the world more clearly by ceasing to ask misleading questions. And exactly the same sort of thing happens, too, in psychotherapy. One of the characteristics of neurotic behavior, you know, is it's repetitive. The neurotic personality keeps going through unsuccessful life patterns again and again and again, and nothing seems to be able to stop him. Now, this kind of behavior is exactly what a Buddhist would mean by samsara, the round or the rat race of birth and death, that is to say, of life as we ordinarily live it. Because it is a round, it is a vicious circle, for the reason that we keep trying to solve problems that are not simply overwhelmingly difficult, but problems that are not problems at all. They only look like problems. And so when we tackle, you see, impossible questions, for a simple example,